Hi, I'm Mindy Odlin, founder of the SpiritGroups program. We provide infrastructure and leadership development training for New Thought churches that are mission-centric. So thank you for your interest in bringing SpiritGroups to your spiritual community. I first began working with small groups back in 2004. I was the pioneering spiritual leader of Unity Church of Wimberley and had learned about small groups by studying Saddleback Church. And so we rolled out our small groups program from the very beginning, and within less than 3 years, we had filled our sanctuary to capacity, beyond. We actually had to go into a second service. So we had incredible success with small groups. About that time, my daughter was born, and I was invited to take on a new project through Unity. And I was the network producer, the founder, the originator of the idea for Unity Online Radio, and took a few years to get that project off the ground until it was able to transition onto the Unity Village campus. Once it made that transition, I took some time off to do a book tour. And at the time, I traveled around to a lot of Unity and New Thought churches, mostly in the South Central region, talking about my book. And at the same time, I was living in Dallas-Fort Worth, where there are mega churches everywhere. Now, the statistics show that in our movement that there has been a steady decline, that 80 to 90% of our churches are in a state of decline. And when I was out doing my book tour, I really got to see firsthand the effect of that on our churches. And so I had this sort of alternating perspective of being in our churches and seeing the struggle that was there, and then coming home and seeing these mega churches experiencing mega growth. And I thought to myself, if our teachings are true, if thought creates reality, then I wanted to know, what are they thinking over there that's that different from what we've been experiencing here in New Thought? So when I had a Sunday that was free, I would go visit these churches and fill out a contact card, and I'd bring my daughter so she could experience the youth services. I read the books about how they were founded, and started studying what they were doing to make their church grow. And what was wonderful about the churches that I studied, all of them began in living rooms or garages. They all started small, and all of them had grown to over 20,000 people attending each Sunday. That's what I was looking at. I wanted to know, what are they doing differently? And as I started doing the research, I found that there were very clear, very specific differences in what was happening in these churches that I wasn't seeing in our New Thought movement. There was a certain way they approached their mission. There was a certain way they integrated their values. There was a certain way they created infrastructure and leadership training through small groups that I had not experienced in any New Thought church that I had ever spoken in. So I took it upon myself to start studying these churches. For 4 years, I've been studying small group ministry, leadership development in mega churches, and how they use that to grow. And then, of course, I've translated that into our New Thought philosophy. And the wonderful thing is, so many of these churches, these mega churches, are very generous with their training and with the resources they share. So 2 of the ministries that are primary to the work that has evolved for the Spirit Group program is Rick Warren and his purpose-driven church. So one of the things I love about Rick Warren is he set out from the very beginning, when they were meeting in his living room, he set out to build a church of small groups, not just a church with small groups, a church of small groups. It was foundational to his entire strategy for how to grow a church. So we've learned a lot from Rick Warren, and I also have learned a lot from Craig Brochelle, who is the minister of Life Church. Life Church, have you heard of them? A lot of people haven't, but the truth is, it's the largest, fastest growing ministry in our country. They serve about 100,000 people every Sunday, and many more than that online through their online services. So they are a tremendous model for growth, a tremendous model for being mission-centric, values-driven, and then using the small groups as the delivery system for equipping people to go out and fulfill that mission. Now, you may not have any intention of leading or developing a mega church, and that's okay. You may just want to be getting people more engaged. Maybe you just want to help people feel more connected, or maybe your attendance is plateaued a little bit and you want to get back into that growth mode again. So wherever you may be in your ministry, what we can learn by looking at these other churches, these mega churches and their growth strategy, is ways to create systems that have the entire ministry be more efficient, so that as we grow, we can grow in a way that is scalable, in a way that is sustainable. And mission-centric ministry with small groups as the delivery system for the mission is a powerful, powerful tool to enable you to do that. The best part about growing through small groups and growing through a mission-centric approach is that you're not just growing your church so that you have more people sitting there on Sunday morning. You're not just filling up seats. You're not just creating income to keep the doors open. That what you're actually doing as you're growing your church is you are creating spiritual transformation in the lives of your group leaders, in the lives of your group members, and in the lives of your congregation and those who are impacted by the work that those groups are doing. So you're creating these ripples of spiritual transformation, not only within your own community, but beyond your community as well. And that is the fulfillment of your mission. In doing this, you create infrastructure that is scalable, that is sustainable, that if you were to double your attendance tomorrow, you wouldn't be doubling the workload on your minister and your key staff. So you're creating an infrastructure that allows you to grow in a way where you can manage that growth. To date, over 40 New Thought ministries have been through the SpiritGroups training program. We've launched hundreds of Spirit Groups. Thousands of people have participated in SpiritGroups. So I'm going to defer over to them. Don't take my word for it. Hear from a few of the people, the leaders that have been involved in SpiritGroups to date.
How do we create a foundation that's not going to be the grow and then the shrink and the grow and the shrink? And for the first time, I see a program here with small groups that is going to help to finally create that foundation that I think we're all searching for.
I believe that what is happening here is the future of the New Thought movement.
What's the biggest deal, and everybody in here that's in a spirit group knows it, is that when I walked into the Unity Church, I was on the edge of just going away. And when I say going away, I mean that literally. This saved my life.
The most amazing part of it was the community. I've been in Unity since I was a small child, but I just every week came away with something new and something I never even thought of. It was really, really special.
But what we get out of it is that sense of satisfaction of seeing other people blossom spiritually, to seeing that growth. And creating that vehicle is the most rewarding work I can ever imagine doing.
Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the SpiritGroups program. If you are a mission-centric New Thought ministry, or you're making the shift into becoming a mission-centric community, we would love to support you in creating an infrastructure that is scalable, that is sustainable, that can support you in not just growing your ministry, but really fulfilling your mission in the world. So you can learn more about the SpiritGroups program online at spiritgroups.org. If you have questions, we would love to talk with you. Give us a call, ask us whatever you'd like to ask, find out if this is a good program for you. We look forward to connecting with you and inspiring infinite connections in your spiritual community. Thank you, and God bless you.